As the sun sets and the regular season rolls home and can play with the peace of mind knowing their season will continue after today, Manchester doesn't have that same claim. The Spartans need a win just to give themselves a shot at continuing their season in the HCAC tournament. The 2024 HCAC regular season champions will try to spoil that dream tonight. We'll have all the drama for you right here on RHIT.TV. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Terre Haute. Cruz Martin alongside my partner, Ben Wood. Ben, this is a big night, obviously, for Manchester, a win, and it keeps their hopes alive for an HCAC tournament berth, but they're also going to need some favors.
Yeah, a win would actually get them to host a game in the tournament, so that's even bigger, but a loss or a draw here, and they're out, so everything is on the line here for them. And then you look over at Rose-Hulman. They're right where they want to be. They already clinched that spot. Maybe we'll see some reserves, some substitutes come in at this point, but it looks like for the start, Coach Holloway is going to get his guys out there and try and get this one put away early, and then maybe get those guys in here and work them in and get those starters. You know, they've got some great guys leading the HCAC in some offensive categories. Get those guys some rest, get their legs fresh going into Tuesday.
Now, we mentioned the stakes for Manchester already in the broadcast. They have to take on the defending HCAC regular season, or I should say they are the defending HCAC regular season champions from a year ago. There was a lot of roster turnover over the summer. This is a brand new team. They're led by a terrific young core who accounts for 94% of their offense, that being Cole Williams, Andy Ignatovich, and Ian Jones.
Yeah, if you're Rose-Hulman, you got to know where all three of those guys are on the pitch at all times. And you look at what Coach Brooks is doing with this young core, and it's just trying to figure out what's worked so far this season and getting these guys experience. So when they're upperclassmen, hopefully they can be in the position where Rose-Hulman's at, sitting at the top of the HCAC.
Manchester led by head coach Chad Brooks in his fourth season. As for Rose-Hulman, they are coming into tonight's game with a 9-game unbeaten streak. And, of course, we mentioned that they were able to clinch the 2024 HCAC regular season championship this past Saturday in that win over Mount St. Joseph, a 7-0 win. Cameron Hanna, his third brace on the season, 6 players tallied goals, 9 players recorded points in that game. Just an overall dominant performance from the Engineers.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch, and then you also look on the defensive side of the ball. They've only allowed 1 goal in that stretch as well, and then on the offensive side, they capped it off with a 7-0 win against Mount St. Joseph, the most goals they've scored in a game this season.
This could be a pushover game in their mind, but of course the NCAA tournament's in the side of the Engineers. They need to stay on their A game. Plus, what could be more fun than ending your conference rival season right here and right now?
Yeah, they've had a good overall record against Manchester here from Terre Haute, and last year they went into the tournament as a 3 seed and ran the table. Now they're going to have a little bit better drawing here at the 1 seed, so I'm sure they're going to be confident either way going into the tournament.
This is the 39th all-time meeting between Rose-Hulman and Manchester. Rose-Hulman leads the all-time series 28-5-5. We'll take a quick step aside with the national anthem, and we'll return on the other side of this break.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
A good engineer, a good mathematician, a good scientist can identify problems.
But in order to be a great scientist or engineer, you've got to have curiosity and you've got to have creativity, and that's what's going to set you apart.
You can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your students to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. Curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
575 of them from 40 states and 19 countries, with a record-breaking number of applications. Did you forget about Rose's outstanding class of 2023 and how 99% of the graduates have landed a position in their dream fields, graduate school, or the military?
The renovations to Munch Hall are finally complete, so I'm sure he'll have plenty to eat at the updated Munch Cafe by the new Living Mall.
We just broke ground on a new residence hall that will be ready for fall 2025.
We celebrated a record-breaking homecoming with more than 2,000 alumni, students, and friends commemorating the 100th anniversary of the bonfire with our first ever drone show. We also welcomed 267 employers for our fall career fair. And perhaps the greatest gift of all, the Wall Street Journal named us one of the top 20 best colleges in America, and U.S. News & World Report named us the #1 undergraduate engineering college. You can be a little old for a lot of things, but you're never too old or too far away for Rose-Hulman. 2023 was a year of adventurous journeys, of coming together, of growth, No matter how far away you roam this holiday season, you will never be truly alone as long as Rose is your home.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
RHIT.TV is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is a leading equipment dealer since 1955. Passionate Care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. Boilermaker Local 374. Boilermaker Local 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community. Bertner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. The Morales Group. We're in business to create a better future for you and your family. Northwestern Mutual, inspiring people to repeatedly take action on their financial goals. Indiana Laborers District Council, the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with the Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LeUna. And by the IndianaSRN Sports Page. Follow the sports page every day with updated news from coast to coast. Log on at IndianaSRN.com and click on our tab. Welcome back to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology here in Terre Haute as we get ready for the first kick between Rose-Hulman and the Manchester Spartans in the regular season finale for both of these teams. Manchester tonight needs a win in order to give themselves a chance at making the HCAC postseason. They will need a couple of favors from a couple of their HCAC counterparts as well. And tonight, Rose-Hulman could end that opportunity just with a draw and maybe even defeating the Spartans as well. And so far, Rose-Hulman has yet to drop an HCAC tournament game this year, Ben.
Yeah, so that is something they can kind of hang their hat on, something to play for, if you want to say. And I think we'll see them come out here and play hard in this first half and see where things take them, see where we stand at the half. But if you're Manchester here, Coach Brooks has got to tell these guys, look, come out aggressive, take your chances. I mean, they're fighting for that last spot, that 6th seed in the tournament. So I think we'll see maybe them take some chances on some counterattacks, look to really force the ball towards the net. But, I mean, you look in between the pipes for Rose-Hulman, and Biederstedt has been the best in the conference. He has been on a tear. We mentioned in this past 6-game winning streak, he's only allowed 1 goal. So it's going to be a tough task to get one past him.
Starting lineups tonight. First, we'll take a look at Manchester. You mentioned between the pipes for Rose-Hulman. For Manchester, it's going to be Aaron Ketchmark, 6'4" junior out of Counts, Indiana. The midfielders, Jackson Fagan, along with Gavin Wagers and Cole Williams. Matt Brown, Andy Ignatovich, who leads the team in assists. By the way, Cole Williams leads the team in shots on goal, and goals on the season as well. As we walk out to center field for the first kick of this one, also Cole Spagna, Ethan Hollis, and Hayden Etner out there, as well as Brian Lira, Devin Allen, and Nick Marion as we are underway. And the starting lineups for Rose-Hulman tonight: in goal, John Biederstedt, along with Aiden Creek and Cameron Hanna, who is coming off his 3rd career brace so far in his freshman campaign. It's a long kick ahead. In pursuit, Nick Marion trying to chase it down. He's got the wheels churning as he gets down to that byline and keeps the ball in play. It's loose in the box, still being batted around, and finally Rose-Hulman is able to clear it. Back to the starting lineups: Jacob Pohl, Peter Jacob, Peter Borger, Oliver Fila, Julius Salinas, Evan Lipsky, Ryan Shapiro, defending HCAC Offensive Player of the Week, and Landon Kangas.
So far already on the first possession, we saw Manchester trying to get the offense started with that big lead pass, but nothing came of it. And now Rose-Hulman going to settle in here, trying to get something going here on offense.
Shapiro making contact right there. He has been riding the hot hand as of late. He scored goals in 5 straight games. He has assists as well in 4 of those 5 games. 14 points over the course of that 5-game span coming into tonight.
I'm sure Coach Helway loves to see the production from him and having some guy out there that they can rely on night in and night out.
Here's the aforementioned Shapiro. Has to try to play it back. So far, the Spartans putting a lot of pressure, not only offensively but defensively as well, but give credit to Rose-Hulman for handling it. Near side, Lipsky. And now Cameron Hanna, coming off his third career brace this past Saturday against Mount St. Joseph. Ball loose in the box. Manchester able to kick it back the other direction. The Engineers control it. Nice tackle on the far side for the Spartans. And a foul's going to be called.
There we can see some aggressiveness on the defensive side of the ball. They're going for that tackle, taking their chances, trying to win possessions.
Oliver Fila flagged for that one. On what is a beautiful night as of right now here in Terre Haute. We have the sun that is set below us to our right. The light reflecting off the clouds in a very comfortable 75 degrees here at first kick. As Rose-Hulman will take it back the other way. It's a little bit too far out of the reach of Lipsky off the pass from Shapiro.
And Cruz, when I was driving down here, I was wondering if the wind was going to be a factor in this game. I saw the semis swaying on I-70, but it's really died off here. And it really shouldn't affect the ball here. I was thinking mainly from goal kicks and, you know, when it gets high up in the air like that, but shouldn't be a problem here tonight. This is, like you said, can't ask for better, especially Indiana, end of October, and we're still in the 70s. Come on.
I'm not one for complaining about that. You will not catch me complaining at all. Foul was called on Matt Brown right in front of us. Free kick for Rose-Hulman. You know, you mentioned the wind. You know, they were expecting 20, 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds, and they definitely came. They were here, warm wind out of the south. But like you said, it started to die off, and the field's back here in a little bit of a cove of trees, which is nice, which will obstruct the wind a little bit as well, so further diminishing that wind threat.
I'm sure these players are loving the warm weather too. Helps them stay loose out here. They don't have to wear the extra layers, worry about cramping up when they come off the pitch.
Now, one thing to mention to the new guys here in the Midwest, don't get used to it. It could change at the drop of a hat, and I'm sure some of these guys will figure that out sooner than later. The veterans are going to have to make sure they're aware of it as well. Missed kick right there on the far side. As Lyra tried to put a foot on it. Down to the byline. Nice clear right there from Hollis. Rose-Hulman holds on to it. Peter Jacob has it dispossessed, and the whistle will blow.
Ref getting in the way of that one.
Something you don't see every day.
No. But so far, you can tell why Rose-Hulman is at the top of the HCAC. Just the movement from everyone out there when they get the ball in that lower third. Everyone is finding space and filling. There's no standing around, and it's just really fun to watch.
Lipsky down towards the touchline. Kicks it across the middle off the back heel of Shapiro. Spartans get a takeaway. Whistle blows. Foul's going to be called. And a free kick coming for Manchester. Again, this is a Manchester team that has not won a game since October 5th. That was a win against Earlham. They need a win tonight to give themselves just the opportunity of continuing their season in the HCAC tournament.
They've had 3 losses and 3 ties, and they've been shut out in 3 of their last 4 games. And we mentioned the defensive stats here from Rose-Hulman. That losing streak isn't really going to help them coming into this one, considering how well Rose-Hulman's been on defense this past 6 games.
Ball over the touchline. Rose-Hulman controls it. Again, we mentioned some of the favors that Manchester would need in the event of an upset over the current 2024 HCAC regular season champions. Of course, like we mentioned, Rose-Hulman clinched that this past Saturday in that win over Mount St. Joseph. They would have to have a win, obviously, in a Mount St. Joseph loss or draw, or an Anderson loss or draw. So the win obviously helps a lot. Then you have to either rely on Mount St. Joseph or Anderson, either drawing or dropping a game. But of course, either a draw or a loss tonight would mean that the season would be over for the Spartans.
Yeah, a lot of stacked against them, and it's always fun coming down here and doing games for the HCAC when it's right before tournament time, because there is always a handful of scenarios for every team where they can be right on the line of getting in, or even a tie in this scenario doesn't get them in. So just a lot more here to play for if you're the Spartans.
The regular season championship won by the Engineers this past Saturday, their 11th all-time, and every single one of them under the direction of head coach Sean Hellewell in his 17th season. Over 200 wins, under 80 losses for his career, under 50 draws for his career as well. And what a job he has done in just under 2 decades here in Terre Haute.
Yeah, and he's got this program firing on all cylinders. Actually, this recruiting class for this year had 25 freshmen, their largest in school history, so he's got guys interested in coming here to play winning soccer.
Big kick right there. Betterstedt getting underneath of that one. As the Spartans try to move the ball up the field, there's a gust of wind that we were talking about earlier. Again, that could come into effect if the winds do persist throughout the course of this game. Ball cleared the other direction by Manchester. Chasing it down on the far side, Aiden Creek, who started his 15th consecutive game tonight. Shapiro, header behind him. Hollis there to clean it up. And it bounces over the touchline off to our right. And Lipsky will throw it in. Engineers' overall record is a nice pass up ahead for Lipsky. We'll try to chase it down and can't do so. It'll be a throw-in for the Spartans. Overall record for the Engineers, 9-4-3, including that 7-0-1 conference mark. And they got off to a slow start, but they have been on fire ever since starting conference play.
They have, and they've done a really good job of controlling home field advantage here. They've only lost 1 game on the season here in Terre Haute, and they've got 1 draw as well, and both of those were non-conference games. So like you said, once conference came around, they've found a way to win here.
And a win tonight would make it 4 straight 10-plus win seasons for Sean Hellewell's group. And they could potentially be 80 minutes or less away from that mark. Aaron Ketchmark back to kick this one away. And it'll actually be his running mate back there who will kick it away. Long ball.
Got it past everyone.
The ball will exchange keepers. So John Biederstedt will roll this one out. Now Rose Holman will try to build from the back. Quickly over the middle, Hannah with it. And a turnover. Up ahead, nice control right there from Borger. Last year was part of the first team All-HCAC team. He's returning and having another solid year for the Engineers. Speaking of solid years for the Engineers, Shapiro had it just a moment ago.
A pass.
Long cross, Salinas. Salinas getting downhill, cuts it back. He'll fire right here, and nice save. Aaron Ketchmark able to track that one down. He's obviously visibly frustrated, though, the fact that Manchester gave such a good opportunity to Salinas.
Yeah, that was a nice one. I mean, set up by the excellent cross pass. He gets it through the sea defenders, and then you can see Salinas here. He's got all the time in the world, takes a couple dribbles, sets himself up really nicely with that left-footed shot and put it right where it needs to go. But unfortunately, Ketchmark's 6'4", so it's going to be hard to put one up for 90 on him.
And Ketchmark going up to get that one. Manchester's defense holds up. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. Reynolds Farm Equipment is a leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors in and throughout the state of Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. Give us a call today at 317-849-0810. Just 11 minutes in here from Rose Holman. In a game that means a lot more to the Spartans than it does to the Engineers. And the Spartans need a win to just give themselves an opportunity at continuing their season in the HCAC tournament. They need either an Anderson or a Mount St. Joseph draw or loss compounded with that win in order to make the tournament. Rose Holman could end those hopes tonight by either drawing or winning this game against Manchester.
So far, there's only been one shot on goal, and that came from Salinas just moments ago.
It was saved by Ketchmark. Shapiro on the ground and rolls off to the right. Ketchmark right there once again.
Another good look, a lot of movement going towards the goal. A nice pass off, and that one, Ketchmark just gets a hand on it, and it's still almost trickled in.
Ketchmark has been active over the course of the last 3 or so minutes. Again, you have the defending HCAC Offensive Player of the Week coming at you. You'd be a little bit intimidating, but Ketchmark didn't flinch.
That was a good job by Salinas there, or Shapiro there trailing. Maybe if he would have got it up in the air, would have given it a better shot at going in, but either way, Ketchmark in the right spot.
Now we have a stoppage in play as Landon Kangas will run over to the bench. He's got a cut, it looks like, on the inside of his right elbow. So the trainer will need to patch him up super quick. He should be able to come right back into the game. Corner kick will be initiated by Oliver Fila, who has 3 assists in each of his last 4 games coming in. So he has been active. I should say just 3 over the course of the last 4, but nonetheless he has been active in helping Rose-Hulman get on the board. So a substitution will come in as Kangas won't be able to get himself patched up in time.
It's William Wittich coming into the game, the junior.
Ball in the air, it's loose. Hannah got a touch on it. Ball still alive. Another touch from Hannah, no. And the Spartans with a big-time clear as Nick Marion punted that one all the way back across the field.
And that's the right move there with all the chaos going around inside the box. You just want to clear that one, and did an excellent job doing so.
And the Spartans have it offensively.
It's going quickly, too.
They got off to a really swift start as they were able to win the first kick. Got themselves all the way down to their own byline. Then turned the ball over. And since then, it has been all Rose-Hulman in terms of the opportunities.
And Borger's a big reason why. He's had a good couple clears here in the first 10 or 15 minutes, keeping the ball away from the box.
Nice takeaway. Hollis once again. Rose-Hulman takes it right back. Hannah. Down goes Hollis. Through ball. Shapiro. Ketchmark has to retreat. Shapiro up in the air across. And they tried to set up Hannah down on the far side. There's a missed touch. And so Ketchmark will boot this one away. Back into the game comes Kangas.
And that was a really high IQ play there by Shapiro. Kind of saw Ketchmark coming out, playing him, realizing that he was out of position, trying to find someone on that back post. Instantly got it over there. They just couldn't put a foot on it towards goal.
Ketchmark into the air. Might be getting an assist from that gust of wind that just came through. It was coming from his back right shoulder, so it had pushed the ball a little bit further and off to his left than what would have naturally happened without it. It was a good kick nonetheless. And the Spartans control it. Throwing far side intercepted. Spartans back beyond midfield, at least initially. Loose ball. Headed up to the back line of the Engineers. And who will come down with it? Towards the touchline. It was last touched by Rose-Hulman. Manchester still in control. Good opportunity forming right here for the Spartans.
Yeah, this is a good spot if you can get that ball deep. And unfortunately, it was 2 Rose-Hulman players that found the ball, and this one's going to be going the other way.
Plenty of contact in the box. It appears as though it was Matt Brown again called for the foul. That's his second already tonight. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Morales Group Staffing. We're in business to create a better future for you, for your family, and for the community we share. We can match you with the right career or hire the right candidate for your company. Call us today at 317-4 472-7600. Engineers back the other way quickly. Deflection on the far side as Kangas tried to play it through. And a corner kick's going to be upcoming, the first of the night for either team.
You saw there again, Shapiro, just such good IQ with the ball, knowing where to go with it. And he's only a freshman. It's going to be fun to watch him here the next 3 seasons.
Already off to a great start to his career. 6 goals on the season, 4 assists. As the corner kick goes behind the goal and out of play, and Ketchmark will kick this one away. Also worth noting the shot discrepancy early in this one. This is where the Engineers have thrived all season long and out shooting their opponents. They have a 5-0 shot advantage right now over Manchester early on in this one.
And Salinas with the only 2 shots on goal so far for either team.
Ball loose, controlled, as Borger was sealing off his man. Ball's up in the air, and back the other way comes Rose Holman. Fila plays it ahead. Hanna couldn't grab it. Ooh, and that one off the side of the head of Peter Borger. You could hear that one.
Yeah, we're right in front of there. That was a good thump to the head. I don't think he was initially planning to put a head on that one, and that's what makes it dangerous when you're not ready for it.
Now we'll have a card issued. First one of the night for either team. I believe they might have just called that one on Evan Lipsky. That's exactly right. So Evan Lipsky picks up the yellow. Free kick upcoming for Manchester. 28:08 remaining here in the first period of play. Again, Manchester required to win tonight to give themselves an opportunity at making the HCAC tournament. Again, they'd either need a Mount St. Joseph or Anderson draw or loss in order to make that dream a reality. But it all starts right here with what Manchester can control. It's a nice opportunity for a kick right there from Salinas. However, it was out of bounds. So Manchester will get another opportunity to go back the other direction. That one off the head of Borger. And the Spartans slowly but surely advancing the ball up into the attacking third.
We saw a throw in from this same spot about 5 minutes ago, and there was some physical play in the box, and this time Rose Holman able to take care of it, but good play there by Manchester to keep it alive.
Lyra came in hot, ball into the box, and cleared away on that back line as Jacob Pohl came in to sky that one up into the air.
Yeah, some good team defense. There was 3 guys swarming the ball there.
Throw in for Manchester. It appears as though it's going to be Cole Williams. Ball's loose, headed away. Headed away again.
It's been Lyra for the Spartans a few times coming up from the back line, trying to keep the ball on the Spartans' attack.
Shapiro in pursuit. And Ketchmark able to get that one away. A really nice kick over to the far corner. Brown going after it. Creek got his foot on it. And it's going to stay with Manchester. So Manchester able to flip sides of the field really swiftly.
Yeah, Ketchmark helping the offense out there. That almost acted as a lead pass there to Brown. So he was able to track that one down in stride.
Can Manchester get an opportunity? They can't right there. Shapiro underneath of it. Contact with Lyra.
And in all 3 of these deep throw-ins for Manchester, it's been Rose Holman that's been the first to the ball on each of them, and you love to see that if you're Coach Hellawell.
Nice touch towards the near side. Borger for Shapiro. Nice few touches right there for Rose Holman. So we approach the 25.5-minute mark here this first half. Here's a shot on the ground, and underneath of it, Ketchmark. As the whistle will blow. And we'll have another injury. We might have a bloody nose right here.
Looks so the referee doing his best job trying to signal that to the sideline.
That's exactly what it is right here. Peter Jacob will come over to the sideline, and we'll see if another substitution comes in, and that's exactly what we'll have.
Saw a replay of the shot there from Hannah, just not able to really get his body going towards the net on that one. Easy stop there for Ketchmark. Been tested a few times here, but so far has looked really good.
Rylan Watson into the game for the first time this afternoon. He wears number 35 in that white and black jersey, as Peter Jacob will get tended to. Aaron Ketchmark will kick this one away. He has been relatively active already so far today. Couple of saves. And so far has buckled but not bent. And the same can be said for the rest of the Manchester defense as well. They have stayed vigilant through a barrage of 6 shots compared to none through the first 20 minutes of this game. Takeaway, Rose-Hulman. Manchester right there to slow down the advancement. But it only holds for a little bit. Up ahead, Hannah finds Shapiro on the run. This could be an opportunity, but he was offsides.
Hannah's just really strong when he possesses the ball. It seems like it's going to take more than just a little bump to knock him off of his spot. There's been a few times where he's been able to handle it through contact and get off a good pass.
Free kick coming up for the Spartans. This one low to the ground. Gets through a couple of waves of defenders. Nice seal off from Borger, who had to exit the game a couple of minutes ago with a cut on the inside of his right elbow. He's back into the game. Ball gets through. Manchester might have an opportunity. Through ball. Matt Brown going after it. He's outraced right there as Borger outpaces him all the way to the byline.
Quick little give and go. It was there, just a little bit too much on the pass, but some good action there from the Spartans. Almost got him a look at the goal.
RHIT.TV is brought to you by Boilermaker Local 374. Boilermaker Local 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. When you need a safe, dependable workplace for a new build, an upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Boilermakers Union Local 374 to do your job right the first time. Hayden Etner checking into the game for Manchester, wearing number 19 in that gold uniform. Ball over the head of Shapiro. Hannah right there to pick it up on the run.
It's the first official substitution of this game. We've seen a couple guys come out for having some blood, but Manchester trying to make some changes here with just under 23 minutes to go in the first half.
Allen couldn't handle the touch. It's out of bounds. Throw in upcoming. Lipsky will get things going. Hannah for Lipsky. And then Shapiro tried to set Lipsky up and let him a little bit too far. Throwing for Manchester inside their own defending third. Takeaway. Shapiro. And he can't control it.
Yeah, just ran out of room there. It looked like he was trying to turn it to the outside. Manchester looking to get something going here.
On the run, Manchester might have something here if they can control it. They can't do so. As Pohl trying to control it. Etner still in pursuit. And a whistle will blow. And what's the call? We might have had a foul over on the far side, I believe.
Yeah, I'm guessing it went against Etner, who just came into the game, but you can hear Coach Brooks clapping on that one. He likes the aggressiveness there, the energy from his substitution, and that's all you can ask for is you get out on the pitch and you give it 100%.
Peterstead. He hasn't had a whole lot to worry about tonight. That back line for Rose-Hulman has really kept things contained for Manchester. It's not, though, that Manchester has not tried to get some opportunities. They might have one right here. Marion on the run. Taken away as Borger got his foot on that one.
And he's been the main reason why there hasn't been too many opportunities. It seems like every time he's coming over and making a play on the ball to keep it away here. And now here's one of the best chances I think Manchester's had so far tonight.
corner kick their first. They have yet to record a shot, let alone a shot on target. Ball's up, punched away by Bieterstedt. And Rose-Hulman able to control it off the foot of Salinas. Across the middle, and it's picked up on the run by Oliver Fila. Fila ahead, Lipsky. Rose-Hulman flips the field just like that.
Yeah, that was a quick counterattack.
And a quick spin from Lipsky as well, but he throws it away. Manchester controls now. Coming off their first corner kick of the game. Slides it over the middle. Allen up ahead. Deflected away and over the touchline. So far, Manchester has shown a lot of signs of aggressiveness, but all of that aggressiveness hasn't amounted in a single shot so far. Give credit to Rose-Hulman's defense.
And I don't even know if they've attempted. I don't even think if a shot's been blocked or anything like. They just have not gotten a good look going towards the goal.
Long ball ahead, and Ketchmark will scoop that one up and roll it out quickly.
But they're keeping the pace up here. They're looking to attack every time they possess the ball.
Kick over the middle, Shapiro in play. That one kicked away as Hollis returns it. Nice move over on the far side. Down towards the 18 and over the byline and out of play. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Passion Care, delivering care with more than 24 years of experience. As a prestige healthcare company, Passion Care is driven by decades of expertise and a drive to go above and beyond. Call us today at 317-537-1811. Both of these teams pinballing for position right here. And a whistle will end the chaos. Foul called on Rose-Hulman.
That was Ignatovich taking a tumble there. Looks like he's going to set up the free kick opportunity. Actually, there's another player down as well.
And it looks like it might be a cramping situation. Benches to our left, Manchester's bench calling for water. As the player who was down looked like he was grabbing his calf.
Show the player that's down, just don't zoom in on them.
Trying to see who it is. From what it looks like, it seems to be Brian Lira. There was a sub ready to come in as Christian Munoz, the freshman from Goshen, Indiana, preparing to see his first action in the afternoon. And he might come in to replace Lira. Lira, you can see him over there on the right of your screen. Clearly in some discomfort as he walks off of the field as Munoz will check in.
And it's tough when you get those cramps because once you get the first one, unfortunately, it takes a little bit for them to go away. And you can feel all right and get back into the game, and it can hit you right again. So hopefully it's just a cramp. You can get some electrolytes, maybe a banana or two, and get back out there.
You know, I've heard pickle juice is really good for cramping.
Yeah, they make actual, I've seen on football sidelines, they have little shots of them that they hand out.
It's very interesting. Very interesting, but if it works, it works. Rose-Hulman coming back the other direction. So far still with a 6-0 shot advantage over Manchester. Give credit to Aaron Ketchmark. Nice tackle far side. Couldn't tell who exactly got a foot on that one, but nonetheless, it was a great tackle.
I believe it was Marion, the sophomore, making a nice slide in there. We've seen a couple of good slide tackles over there on that side of the pitch from Manchester.
The Tri-West product has made its presence felt defensively for Manchester so far today. So far, the Spartans' problems have been offensive. because you know that you're going to face a barrage of shots facing this high-powered Rose-Hulman offense. Their defense has held up their end of the bargain, but the offense hasn't given them any opportunities yet.
Yeah, it's been tough, and I mean, you have to be happy. Rose-Hulman's had maybe 2 good looks at the goal, and other than that, Manchester's been pretty stout on defense.
All it takes is one shot, though, to roll in for either one of these teams, and of course, it always comes down to situations like that where a team can play terrific for 99% of a half or a game, but it only takes that one time. Could this be that one time? No, offsides, Cameron Hanna.
Manchester defense was all over that one. I think there was 4 guys there with their hand up. And Cruz, you make a good point. You look at their last 6 games. We mentioned those 3 ties and 3 losses, and I mean, some of them were 0-0 games. 1 or 2 plays goes your way, and you come out of there with a win. So it's just important to look at every possession like it matters and make sure you're not taking plays off and make sure you're making the right pass. And sooner or later, you'll find the net.
Lipsky on the run. He'll track it down just off to our right. Kick across the middle. Battling for it. Far side, Aiden Creek. Creek sliding it forward. Pass over the middle, Shapiro. Has it deflected away. Manchester's defense playing very physical right now. They get the clear.
That was Hollis making a couple good plays on the ball to clear that one out.
Pole on the run. Manchester's defense just held strong. And they do again. They get the takeaway. Battle in midfield. Won by the Engineers. Watson with it. Watson to the near side. Lipsky. High touch. Trying to control it. And a through ball to nobody. Another clear for Ethan Hollis. The Engineers coming back the other way in a hurry. Not a great touch, though. Over the byline for a goal kick. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Make a Difference. Help us put more student athletes on TV by logging on to IndianaSRN.com. I should say IndianaSRN.org and directing your donation to a specific school, or hit the donate button. More games, more opportunities for our kids. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. Kick up into the air, Manchester on their side of the middle third, trying to get a takeaway, and they do. Cole Williams picks it up, through ball, one-on-one, and Rose-Hulman trying to chase it down. Great pursuit by Christian Munoz off the bench as he was chasing Borger all the way down to the corner.
And Williams on that pass, I think he was expecting Munoz to take off, and it would have found him in the right spot. Instead, Munoz hesitated and instead had to track it down. So Williams a little bit frustrated there. Could have had a good opportunity.
Nice play for Rose-Hulman, developing potentially. Pass over the middle, Hanna with it, fires from the top. It's deflected and cleared once again by the Spartans. Fagan right there kicking that one up into the air. Now underneath of it, Ignatovic tried to bring it with him, I should say. But instead, Lipsky has it.
Borger doing a good job these last few possessions, coming up and trying to keep this ball on the offensive side of the pitch for Rose-Hulman. Now we got a group of subs coming in, 3 for Rose-Hulman and 1 for Manchester. For Manchester, it is Bradley Billiard. And for Rose-Hulman, I see Dylan Traver out there.
Ball's up in the air. And Biederstedt able to head that one away. Boy, that would have been a disaster for Rose-Hulman. It's a good news that they have a guy as seasoned as Biederstedt back in goal. Long touch into the bench of Rose-Hulman. Manchester would take over as we approach the 12.5-minute mark here in the first.
Yeah, Borger trying to kind of curve that one over the sideline there.
That went off the foot of Traver. That ball hits the back of Munoz, but he's able to control it. Munoz plays it across, and it's kicked away. Now Chase Keds here in the middle, still on the handle. Traver forward, taken away. Now Borger with it.
Nice pass.
Long ball far side. Now Rose-Hulman will attack from the other end. Sliding a pass forward, Miller. Miller trying to turn. Deflected, and a nice kick by Fagan. And even more beautiful control over on the far side as the Spartans hang on to it, at least for a moment. Then it's kicked out of bounds.
Not sure what the plan there was from Allen. Just kind of sent that one away. Didn't really seem like there was that much pressure on him there.
It was Belliard who played it into himself on that rainbow kick. But the Spartans turn it over nonetheless. Plenty of contact on the throw-in. And eventually it falls into the feet of Cole Spagna. Belliard with trouble coming from behind. Left it a little bit behind Munoz, forcing him to backtrack. Munoz through a wave of defenders, still on the run, collides with a Rose-Hulman defender. It was Watson in the middle who ends up getting the takeaway after the contact.
Watson just turned into a brick wall there. Didn't let Munoz get anywhere, even stop the ball.
Missed touch from Hayden Netner. And that forces a turnover as more substitutions will come into the game for Rose-Hulman. Siddharth Gaines-Babu, as well as Carson Maines into the game for the first time this afternoon.
I think at this point, Cruz, I think we're going to see Coach Hallowell go more to the bench here as this game goes on, get some more subs into the game. There's already been 5 that have come in here in the first half.
And of course, Rose-Hulman already clinching the HCAC regular season championship this past Saturday. Again, they're not playing for anything of material value at this point, maybe other than looking good in the eyes of the NCAA committee for the postseason. But again, if you really want to think about it, and this might be the mindset that Rose-Hulman took coming into tonight's game, they have an opportunity to end the season for their conference rival.
That is true. That is true. Also, you can look at it, they want to finish undefeated in the conference. They had that one draw, but other than that, it's all been wins, so that's something they might want to hang their hat on before the season's over.
Watson over the middle. Ball's loose and controlled by Manchester, but only enough to where they can put a touch over to the near touch line for a throw-in. They couldn't play it back to catch mark. Would have been a little bit too risky of a play probably.
Yeah, just a good job there staying with it. It could have been an easy clear if he gave up on that ball. He doesn't, and it forces them to play it out of bounds, and now Rose-Hulman gets it back.
Takeaway. Spartans on the run. Long ball up ahead. It gets through as Bryant was trying to go after it, but Peterstedt right there to take it the other way. Manchester continues to put the pressure on. If they want to strike, this is probably the opportunity that they need to take advantage of.
A little 2-on-1 opportunity here on this near side.
Munoz. The through ball. Munoz has an opportunity, and it's taken away. Borger right there to tackle that one out of bounds. Corner kick number 2 upcoming for Manchester with 8 minutes to go.
And who else would it be other than Borger? That was their best looking opportunity. It looked like Munoz was going to have an open shot at the goal, and here comes Borger from the middle, making a nice slide on the ball.
Again, if any opportunity for Manchester like this presents itself, they have to take advantage of it, especially with the amount of subs in. Curling ball out of bounds, and they're going to say it was last touched by Manchester. Goal kick for Bieterstedt.
Yeah, and that's one you'd like to have back there. Didn't even really give his team a chance to put that one in play. Kicked it right at that front post.
RHIT.TV is brought to you by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper Logistics have consistently been trusted allies for your inventory management, warehouse fulfillment, and transportation needs. We stand as your comprehensive logistics partner. Ride with us. Call us today at 317-396-1023. Back and forth we go here at Rolls-Holman. Again, a scoreless game through the first just under 40 minutes. A 7-1 shot advantage in favor of Rolls-Holman over Manchester. Again, the Spartans need a win to give themselves a chance at continuing their season in the HCAC tournament. As for Rolls-Holman, they really don't have a whole lot riding on this game other than, like you said, Ben, that undefeated conference slate, which would, again, be an accomplishment in and of its own right. As the whistle will blow and a foul is going to be called. And Rolls-Holman will take over on a free kick.
Yeah, only 6 teams out of the conference make it to the tournament, which will start on Tuesday. Rose-Holman's going to be playing either the 4 or the 5 seed in that one. We mentioned at the start of the broadcast, they came in last year as the 3 seed, ran the table, and won the tournament, and then lost in the D3 tournament to Ohio Wesleyan.
There's a lot of promise for this Rose-Holman team when the postseason rolls around. Again, looking for their 9th HCAC tournament championship and their 7th NCAA tournament berth at the Division III level.
Here's something else I just realized. Rose-Holman beat Manchester last year in the tournament to end their season, and they've got an opportunity here if they win again to end their season this year. So
that'd have to leave a sour taste in your mouth if you're Manchester. Just another reason that they're playing as aggressively as they are. They remember what happened last year. They don't want that same feeling coming at the hands of the exact same team. They have 50 minutes to try to make that a reality. And if either one of these teams can find a way to strike within the next 5 minutes, the amount of momentum that team would take into the locker room would be exponential.
Yeah, it really would, just because we haven't really seen too much offense here. There's been some good opportunities, but on both sides, the defense, that back line is really stepping up and making a play.
Plenty of contact over in that far corner. Referee blows his whistle. I believe we're going to have a foul and a free kick, yes, and then we'll stop the clock.
He's got the card out as well.
He sure does. So the yellow card is going to be addressed to Landon Kangas over on that far side.
So get another good look at here. Just both guys trying to make a play on it. It looked like Kangas might have stepped on the foot as he was trying to make a play on the ball.
Well, here we go. Free kick. Good opportunity for Manchester. Basically the equivalent of a shorter corner kick.
Yeah, this isn't really a spot you see too many free kicks from.
Marion will get it going. And a wealth of players in both colored kits peppered inside the 18.
2 players forming a wall here for Rose-Holman.
Short chip, ball loose, cleared by the Engineers. A good defensive stand for Rose-Holman. And Manchester can't cash in on the opportunity.
Yeah, every corner they've had, even that free kick there, it's been Rose-Holman's the first player to get to the ball in the box, and makes it really tough to do anything if you're Manchester.
Ball cleared once again by the Rose-Holman back line. Ethan Hollis trying to chase it down. He's successful in doing so. Now Gavin Wagers kicks it off the shin of Dylan Traver. Up ahead, Borger heads it up into the air. A slip. And Manchester looking for a call, and a handball is going to be called. I couldn't tell who it was. I believe it might have been Jacob Pohl.
Yep, it was.
And it was Jacob Pohl.
Looked like he just kind of stumbled there. He was looking to head the ball away and instead falls. Ball hits his hand, and you mentioned it, the coaches were all over it, and the ref made the call. So another good opportunity here to get one in front of the goal and try and get something on the board here for the Spartans.
Brownsburg, Indiana native Gavin Wagers will have the honors of initiating this free kick from roughly 20 yards outside of the 18.
And Rose Holman sends 2 players up there to form a wall.
John Viderstedt in goal. Curling to the left, backside. And who was the last touch by? It was last touch by Rose Holman, corner kick.
Yeah, that was a good spot to put the ball back the pipe. Had plenty of players around there to try and make a play on it, and they're going to get another opportunity at it.
So this time, they will send Marcelo Queza Gutierrez over there to kick it away. And that one's over the touch line.
Sent that one a little bit too deep here, and it's going to be another throw in, and I believe it's going to be Williams this time taking it, and he's getting all the way back and try and get this one in front of the goal as well.
Again, Williams, along with Ignatovich, accounting for nearly 50% of the offense, maybe even over 50% of the offense on the year for Manchester. Plenty of contact down low. It was last touch by Manchester. And so the Rose Holman defense finally able to get that takeaway with 1:50 to go. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Dynamark. Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services, serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service. Call us today at 317-328-2555.
High kick there by Belliard. You can give Rose Holman the ball. Nice little fake out there by Traver.
Now Watson over the middle, headed away by Hollis. Ball's loose. And screaming in to kick that one towards the goal is Pohl. And awaiting it with open feet is Aaron Ketchmark, who has had a terrific half so far as we are under a minute to go until halftime.
Yeah, he's only been tested a couple times, but both times stepped up, got a hand on the ball, and kept the threat away.
3 saves in the first half already for Ketchmark. And he's hoping he doesn't have to make it 4 with 35 seconds to go as Rose Holman attacks. Ball over the middle, up into the air, it's loose, and Rose Holman comes down with it. Along the byline, Kedzier across the middle, ball's loose, opportunity, plenty of contact, it's cleared the other way by Manchester.
There's a player down, but that is a big missed opportunity there for Rose Holman, as you kind of saw Ketchmark make a play on the ball. The pass goes over the front of the goal, no one's there, but unfortunately they couldn't get a foot on it.
Manchester hanging on to their season by the skin of their teeth. And there was no better example than that moment right there. Kick to the far side. Traver was running after it. Nice header on the part of Gavin Wagers to get that up into the air. One final shot. That one well out of play. 45 minutes gone. And nobody's on the board yet. A 0-0 tie going into halftime between Rose Holman and Manchester, and an 8-1 shot advantage for the Engineers. What did you see in that first half, Ben?
Well, we saw initially, we thought Manchester would come out aggressive. They did. They got a couple of good looks towards the goal, just couldn't get some shots off, and you got to give a lot of credit to that back line of Rose Holman. They were really making some plays, shutting down some possessions early, and then we've seen a few times for Rose Holman on the offensive side of the ball, when they're moving it and they're passing it quickly, making those quick touches, guys are filling gaps, and they've gotten a good couple of shots on goal, and probably not as many as they would have liked, but overall you're sitting here 0-0. I'm sure both teams have some things they'd like to clean up, some things they'd like to improve in the second half, but I think both sides are happy with where they stand. Maybe we'll see Rose Holman here start to work in some more subs into this game. I think we saw 5 or 6 come in there in the first half, so that might be something Hellawell we'll rely on in the second half, but right now if you're Coach Brooks and the Spartans, you got to tell your guys you got 45 more minutes to get something on the board and try and come out of here with a win and keep your season alive.
7th time that Rose-Hulman has been tied at halftime. Again, the halftime score 0-0. The Fighting Engineers and the Spartans notched up. As we head to the halftime break, we'll take a quick step aside and return with the rest of halftime here on RHIT.TV.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
A good engineer, a good mathematician, a good scientist can identify problems.
But in order to be a great scientist or engineer, you've got to have curiosity and you've got to have creativity, and that's what's going to set you apart.
You can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your student to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. Curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
If there is one thing wrong in your aircraft, you're gonna fail. Finding the right answer and trying again, that's really what dragged me to aerospace. This is a 3D printed airplane which I made over my freshman year at Rose-Hulman that can be radio controlled and flown. I saw other people making amazing stuff on 3D printers, and I thought if I combine that art of 3D printing with engineering, I could make something as complex as an airplane. So I got the idea as a sophomore in high school, and I just tried. I did it. I failed a couple times, but it all changed when I came to Rose-Hulman. I got in touch with Dr. Riley, who is an aerospace and ME professor, who really asked me great questions about the concepts of my design. So pursuing such project as a freshman, it just lets me feel amazing that I have still 3 years to do something much more complex than this, and it will lead me much further. So my goal is to get involved in space industry and learn about what lies beyond the Earth's horizon. I came across Rose Rocketry. I saw, hey, they're doing some really cool stuff. They're building rockets. I really grew a lot being as part of the team. Last year, through Rose Rocketry, I was able to attend SED's Space Vision 2022, which was a student conference for people who want to get involved in space. And I was able to go to Washington, D.C. and talk to so many people within the space industry who come together and say, this is what the next goals for space are. Being at Rose, I was able to hone my engineering skills to push myself to get involved in the field further and learn about all these different opportunities. And I don't think I would have really gotten that at a bigger university.
Anxious over algebra? Call Ask Rose, the free science and math homework helpline. It's free world-class tutoring. Just call, chat, email, or screen share. Learn more at AskRose.org. Confused by chemistry? Call Ask Rose, the free science and math homework helpline. It's free world-class tutoring. Just call, chat, email, or screen share. Learn more at AskRose.org.
So I started working on Babcock Ranch 16 years ago. We designed a sustainable community that is also storm resilient, and also it has a ton of flood control associated with it. It has 75 megawatt solar facilities on site, which will cover the entire 18,000 acre community. In September of 2022, we had Hurricane Ian. We had 150 mile an hour sustained winds for about 10 hours and 21 inches of rain. Babcock really had little to no damage at all. We were the only place in a 2-county area that had any electric or any available drinking water that did not need to be boiled. And Rose really prepares you to go out, think outside the box, and problem solve. And I think for any major at Rose-Hulman, that's what you're getting. You have the ability to go out and create something new and innovate and change the way that we live as humans today.
An active athlete looking for enhanced performance, comfort, and recovery? Then Skins is the perfect choice for you. Our revolutionary sports compression product provides better oxygen flow in your muscles, helps reduce fatigue and pain from intense physical activity, allowing athletes to push their boundaries and perform better.
Skins helps keep everything, including you, on track.
So don't wait any longer. Get your Skins now and experience unbeatable performance.
Take your game to the next level with Skins.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We're doing things so quickly. A lot of times we know that we need help. So our professors all know us by name.
Basically, everybody knows everybody here.
That one-on-one personal connection you're getting with the faculty, you don't get that a lot of places.
We're not just saying, here, go do this hard project. We are right there with them. We work with them.
The faculty are there for you.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
At first, me and my mom were struggling. I was trying to pay the bills and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. When I first heard that I can get paid for taking care of my mom, I was kind of skeptical because I had been doing it for so many years without pay. That's when I reached out to Passion to Care. I read all the reviews and I saw that they were #1 in the field. Passion to Care has really, really changed my life. Right now, I take care of my mom 24/7 thanks to Passion to Care.
A good engineer, a good mathematician, a good scientist can identify problems.
But in order to be a great scientist or engineer, you've got to have curiosity and you've got to have creativity, and that's what's going to set you apart.
You can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your students to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
If there is one thing wrong in your aircraft, you're gonna fail. Finding the right answer and trying again, that's really what dragged me to aerospace. This is a 3D printed airplane which I made over my freshman year at Rose-Hulman that can be radio controlled and flown. I saw other people making amazing stuff on 3D printers, and I thought if I combine that art of 3D printing with engineering, I could make something as complex as an airplane. So I got the idea as a sophomore in high school, and I just tried. I did it. I failed a couple times, but it all changed when I came to Rose-Hulman. I got in touch with Dr. Riley, who is an aerospace and ME professor, who really asked me great questions about the concepts of my design. So pursuing such project as a freshman, it just lets me feel amazing that I have still 3 years to do something much more complex than this, and it will lead me much further.
So my goal is to get involved in space industry and learn about what lies beyond the Earth's horizon. I came across Rose Rocketry. I saw, hey, they're doing some really cool stuff. They're building rockets. I really grew a lot being as part of the team. Last year, through Rose Rocketry, I was able to attend SED's Space Vision 2022, which was a student conference for people who want to get involved in space. And I was able to go to Washington, D.C. and talk to so many people within the space industry who come together and say, this is what the next goals for space are. Being at Rose, I was able to hone my engineering skills to push myself to get involved in the field further and learn about all these different opportunities. And I don't think I would have really gotten that at a bigger university.
Welcome back to the Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology here in Terre Haute. We're just about set to begin the second half of play between the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers and the Manchester Spartans. Cruz Martin alongside Ben Wood. Ben, Manchester potentially 45 minutes away from having their season come to an end. They need to come out with a win, especially considering that they need either Mount St. Joseph or Anderson to draw or lose tonight, and both of those teams are doing exactly that right now. Mount St. Joseph down 3-0 to Transy at the half, and Anderson down, or I should say knotted up at 0-0 with Berea at halftime as well. So a win basically means that Manchester is into the HCAC tournament, and they have 45 minutes to make that happen.
Yeah, we got to give credit to the Rose-Hulman staff here, keeping stats and stuff, keeping up with those games, letting us know the implications going on. So we got a live halftime updates from those, and you think the Spartans know that? You think that that's made it over to their sideline, or you think they're wiping that out? Doesn't matter. We're going out there.
I'd say they probably don't know. I would say they probably just are going to go out and say, "Hey, we got to win this game for that to even be relevant to us."
Yep. But we saw at the start of the game they came out with some aggressiveness, and Rose-Hulman held that back line, and we saw some opportunities spread out there for the Fighting Engineers. I believe they finished with seven shots in the first half. 3 of those were on goal. Salinas had a couple of good looks, and then right before the half, actually, we saw probably their best opportunity. We saw Ketchmark get out of position. The ball trickled in front of the goal. Unfortunately for Rose-Hulman, Manchester got to it first, played it away, but there was a really good chance there right before that first half buzzer, and we're going to see both teams come out here and try and put one in the back of the net, because we've mentioned this multiple times. Rose-Hulman isn't really playing for much, but as a team perspective, you want to go out there and win and finish this conference schedule on a high note, come out here without taking a loss, and finish potentially 6-0-1 in the HCAC conference.
Manchester potentially 45 minutes away from extending their season or potentially ending their season. As for Rose-Hulman, at least percentage-wise on paper, they have a 67% chance of walking out of here with an undefeated HCAC slate. Again, obviously the numbers play a different factor into that, but just on its face value, either a draw or a win would give them a perfect record in HCAC play. A feat in and of its own right, let alone winning a conference championship like they already have. Up in the air, ball taken down as Biederstedt gets off to a quick start.
And you can already see, if you look out on the pitch, there's a lot of new faces out there for Rose-Hulman. Some of those guys got some action in the first half, but you can see Coach Hellwell going to the bench here, and I think that's a great strategy. Save those legs for Tuesday.
Get a big week coming up for Rose-Hulman. They are for sure in the HCAC tournament. They'll have their first game a week from tonight in the semifinals, as they will get a bye before having to face off and try to defend the HCAC tournament title, which they won against Manchester a season ago. So much has changed over the course of the last year, especially for Manchester. Regular season champs in the HCAC a season ago. Lots of roster turnover, a young group trying to fight their way on the last day of the regular season to extend their season.
And I think having that first round bye in the tournament is huge, plays a big factor. I think more so in soccer than you'd say maybe basketball or baseball, just considering how much these guys are running game in and game out. When you try and fit in potentially 2 to 3 games in a matter of a week, especially at the end of the season when guys are beat up and whatnot, that first round bye could really play a huge part in winning it all.
Especially in the playing style of both of these two teams. Nice pass over the middle. Rose-Hulman on the approach. Nice curling shot right over the shoulder of what looked to be Jackson Fagan. Ball in the box, and it's put in. Just like that, Rose-Hulman gets on the board. And Manchester behind the 8 ball now. 2.5 minutes in, and Rose-Hulman up 1-0.
Just 2 phenomenal passes there. You couldn't have asked for anything better. We saw that long cross get through a couple defenders here as we'll get another look at that. But that gets through 3 defenders, and you find a guy all the way down there in the corner, and then this is the one right here. The no-look pass, and they finish it off. What an exclamation point to start the second half.
It looked to be Carson Maines off the bench, who wears number 51 for Rose-Hulman, who was able to net the goal.
And give the assist to Tyler Eldridge. So once again, that might be one of the better assists we've seen all year on RHIT.TV. The no-look backwards pass, and they finish it off.
Second assist of the year for Eldridge, second goal of the year for Maines. The Monticello, Illinois product, able to give Rose-Hulman that 1-0 lead. And now all of a sudden that entire narrative of the story that we have been watching unfold over the course of the last 48 minutes or so has been completely flipped on its head, although nothing that I think anybody watching this game would have expected at some point. As Rose-Hulman, obviously the HCAC regular season champions, they've already clinched that. But again, it was just a matter of when. I think the more shocking thing is that Rose-Hulman didn't score in the first half, and that's what, at least as of right now, has given Manchester so much hope. And immediately the door is shut like that. Now they have to try to open it back up.
Especially because they came out here with all their regular starters looking looking for their opportunities, and then you come out here with a handful of subs and they get their chance to shine, and they did just that in a matter of minutes.
That's how quickly the narrative of a game could change. And now all of a sudden Manchester battling from behind. They're going to need 2 goals and pitch a shutout for the rest of the game against Rose-Hulman in order to keep their season alive. And now they have the constraints of 40 minutes and 35 seconds to worry about as well. Kick up ahead, Rose-Hulman trying to compound the problem. Over the middle. Eldridge just had an assist, plays it through. Ball is kicked away by Spagna.
Going to be a deep throw-in opportunity here. And they just get it right in and quickly back out.
Manchester's backs are against the walls. Have to stand strong defensively. Long ball across and over the byline, out of play for a goal kick. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Officially Human. Our mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the fields and courts. Do your part. Practice good sportsmanship. If we don't have officials, we can't play. Nice header. Ball is loose and kicked away once again. Marion showing his defensive prowess on that kick. Another quality opportunity upcoming, though, for Rose-Hulman as Kangas will kick this one away. Creek chips it up in the air. And it's headed away by the Manchester defense. Nice quick touch from Ignatovic. Now Munoz. Decision time. He decides to get rid of it. Marion. Long ball ahead, gets through. Nobody home for Manchester. As Bieterstedt will direct the traffic back up the field and try to flip it.
And you know, one thing that Rose-Hulman, looking at it now, has done a really good job of is you haven't had to say Ignatovic's name or Williams' name as a scoring threat so far in this one.
Speaking of scoring threat, here comes Rose-Hulman. Ball's loose, Shapiro. No, it was not Shapiro, excuse me, it was Maines once again, who already has the deciding goal. And he can't get that one to go. Just a little bit high, but nonetheless, another good opportunity for the Engineers.
Yeah, these subs have come out here and really sparked some energy here for Rose-Hulman. We've seen them already 3 times on the attack here looking for scoring opportunities, and I'm sure it's going to remain that way. They're going to look to get the ball and get it towards that scoring third.
Rose-Hulman in their scoring third right now, but that does not remain the case. Now Manchester in their scoring third. Headed up in the air by Bryant. Now kicked up in the air by Bryant. He controls it with the body, at least initially. Couple of nifty kicks. Mains it with it. Up in the air. Back to the middle third. And a bad touch out of bounds as Marion loses control. Probably the only thing other than the goal that was given up that hasn't gone his way tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. We might want to send that one to SportsCenter. That might creep in the top 10. That no-look assist right there. I mean,
happened very, very quickly.
I mean, that cross pass just to get over down in the corner and Rose-Hulman to get to it first was a great play in itself, and then for them to capitalize on it was chef's kiss.
You're talking about the pass that bent right around the shoulder, right through the window between the shoulder and the head of Jackson Fagan, just to get it set up. And then, of course, obviously, like you said, the no-look touch pass. Backwards, blind, and then Maine's able to finish it off. There's been really an embodiment of the type of season that Rose-Hulman has had, especially since conference season began.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, just good team ball right there. Find the open space and then get the ball where it needs to be, and they'll do the rest.
Williams couldn't get the throw there. Now Rose-Hulman will try to take it the other direction. 9 minutes into this second half. Rose-Hulman already on the board.
Really nice job there by Eldridge, kind of slowing it down, letting his players get down the pitch.
Kangas. Now Eldridge, he already has an assist tonight. And Marion's able to keep it in and clear it, at least initially. Now Munoz on the takeaway. He couldn't hang on to it. And still on his feet is Maines. Now up top, Watson on the ground, diving and saving it. His catch mark, he couldn't control it on the ground though. And that'll bring up a corner kick.
Yeah, a little bit of an opportunistic shot there, and I'd say you'd take that. Wasn't able to put it on goal, but you made catch mark put a hand on it. Now you're going to get a corner kick opportunity.
Manchester desperately needs a defensive stop right here. Being down 1-0 to Rose-Hulman is bad enough, but going down 2-0 would almost be a death sentence. 10 minutes in. Low on the ground. Ball gets through and is cleared away by Wagers. And Bryant couldn't control it.
They saw Eldridge do the no-look pass. They got him a goal, and they tried it again. This time, no luck.
Whistle blows. And it's just going to be a throw-in. That's all it'll be. Ball deflected by Williams, and he cannot save it. You know, you mentioned it, Ben, a couple of moments ago. You're absolutely right. This Rose-Hulman defense has completely taken Williams as well as Ignatovic out of this game. And by the way, somebody we haven't seen yet today, Ian Jones, second leading goal scorer for this Manchester team, not playing in only his second game of the season. And no explanation of why that is the case, but nonetheless, what we know is Jones is not on the field. Whistle, handball, Rose-Hulman. By the way, second half underway between Berea and Anderson. Still a scoreless game. Just about 9 minutes into the second half of that one. So again, if Manchester could find a way to put 2 goals on the board and win this game, they will clinch an HCAC tournament berth as of the current score of that game and the current score, at least as of the halftime score of the Transylvania Mount St. Joseph game, in which Transylvania had a 3-0 lead over Mount St. Joseph. Again, all Manchester needed was a win tonight and either a draw or a loss from either of those two teams. We do have an update from that Anderson game. Anderson takes the lead 1-0 over Berea. Still, nonetheless, that Transylvania Mount St. Joseph game, very promising for Manchester. If they can find a way to get a win, they'll have an offensive opportunity here.
Anderson playing for their season 2 now. They had to win that game to get into the tournament, so a lot of shakeup here on the last night.
Slipping up top, Fagan has it taken away, and a yellow card's going to be called. And they're going to hit Fagan for this one.
Seen a handful of yellow cards dished out tonight.
So that'll bring Biederstedt out of his box to kick this one away. Majority of players in the attacking third for Rose-Hulman. Only a handful in the middle third. Ball in the air. Curling left. Will it stay in bounds? It will. Nice header from Kangas.
Great placement there by Biederstedt. You can tell that's exactly where they wanted to go with the ball.
Manchester's able to gain it back, though. Time continuing to tick away. 32 minutes now. Throw upfield. Munoz overruns it. But Ignatovic able to deflect that one and get a takeaway. Bryant over the middle. Too far ahead of Ignatovic. He is pursuing the ball with great intent right there. The call will keep it with Rose-Hulman. And a nice throw-in. Unfortunately for Manchester, Marion able to get his head on that one.
Creek did a nice job boxing out there, getting ready for basketball season.
That's coming up soon.
Crazy.
Hard to believe that the fall season has already came and not yet went, but is on the verge of going. Before you know it, we'll be talking about 0-degree weather and 3 inches of snow, heating up your car before you go off to work. All the good fun stuff of a Midwest winter, huh?
Yeah, and I'm sure Rose-Hulman here is hoping maybe their season overlaps a little bit with basketball season, but they can make a run in the D3 tournament, you know, going and winning the HCAC tournament. And
Paul headed up over the net. Give credit to Will Bell. Product of Holy Trinity Episcopal down in Indialantic, Florida. Making that play. Trying to keep Bieterstead out of involvement.
First corner kick opportunity of the half here for the Spartans.
10-1 shot advantage for Rose-Hulman. Manchester can't cut into that discrepancy. Haynes on the run. No handball called. That was right in front of us. Just a missed call by the official. Might not have had the angle to look at it. Nonetheless, we play on.
Yeah, I caught a break there. There's no one, like you mentioned, no referee in position to see that one.
Rose-Hulman takes over. Under a half an hour to go. Potentially in Manchester season if they can't tally 2 goals in that time span. Rose-Hulman trying to deliver that knockout punch. Haynes has the deciding goal so far. He turns it over right there. Munoz on the takeaway. Ignatovic. And swooping in is Watson.
And hitting my car.
Well, that's not a good sign.
That's all right. It can take a beating.
What kind of car do you drive, Ben?
Nice little Toyota Camry.
Toyota Camry.
Built to last.
Well, it just took a hit right there, and it's still there.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's the good thing.
It's still in one piece.
Can't say that I've seen such fortunate events take place with other cars at other sporting events. We'll get to that here in a minute. Depending on what happens with Manchester, they turn it over.
Yeah, usually it's only when you're at a baseball game you got to worry about
exactly
the
right. I was
foul
at
ball.
Ball State a couple of years ago, foul ball, and then there was a loud crash and someone's windshield was taken out.
Jeez.
That was a bad day for whoever was the owner of that car. I'm sure that insurance claim probably wasn't too fun to file, nor getting it fixed.
Yeah, true. True.
I definitely don't think the drive home would have been particularly pleasing as well. Over to the near side. A couple of players in white shirts who might be a little bit happier than that fan on that faithful day up in Muncie would have been. Taken away by Munoz. Whistle blows. We'll see what the whistle was about. Referee having a conversation with Haynes right now and with Bryant of Manchester.
You like to see that from the head referee, kind of explaining to the guys what he's seeing out there from his perspective.
Approaching the 27.5-minute mark of this second half. Bell. That one going right towards the frame. It drops. Ball's loose. Still not cleared. Whistle will blow. And a foul called on Rose-Hulman.
Great spot to put that free kick, though. Gave his team an opportunity for it. Made Manchester scramble in front of the goal.
Takeaway. Haynes across the middle. On his feet. On the attack, Miller. Miller at the center. Turns a shot and got that one to go. The freshman from Indianapolis delivering what potentially could be the knockout punch to Manchester's 2024 slate.
We saw Maines get the first goal, and he set up that second goal with the defensive deflection, got things going towards the goal, and then Miller does the rest.
There's another look at it. Turning, planting that left foot and turning off to his left with the right foot strike. Miller, his 6th goal of the year. And Rose-Hulman takes that dreaded, at least in the eyes of Manchester, 2-0 lead with under 27 to go.
And I think that one might have caught Ketchmark off guard the way he was kind of going towards the goal, away from the goal actually, had 3 defenders on him and just fit it right in there on the other side. But just a really nice job setting it up there with that spin move, got past the defender to free up some space.
RHIT.TV is brought to you by the IndianaSRN Sports page. Wall-to-wall sports news every day. High school, college, pro sports. We have it all. Check it out at IndianaSRN.org and click on the sports page tab. Stay informed with the IndianaSRN Sports page.
But Coach Hollowell's got to be really pleased with this second half so far. Just the energy that all these guys are bringing and the opportunities they're creating for themselves.
Manchester's going to have to create a wealth of opportunities if they want to give themselves a shot. Again, game not over. As Bradley Belliard, who checked in after the goal, took a shot right there. Back the other way we'll go. Miller looking for another one maybe. Crosses it over the middle, and it was taken away by Manchester. Belliard to Fagan, and he gets tripped up. Foul's called. Again, Manchester needing a win right now in order to extend their season to the HCAC tournament. They were going to get what they needed in terms of a loss or a draw from Mount St. Joseph or Anderson. Anderson with the lead 1-0 over Berea at the last check, but Transylvania up 3-0 at the last check over Mount St. Joseph. Ball right towards our booth, and a nice save right in front of us.
I need to go stand by my car for the rest of the game, make sure it doesn't happen again.
I was going to say we probably should put Aaron Ketchmark in front of your car, but don't get me wrong, he's had a great day, but Rose-Hulman offense continued to wear down that Manchester defense, and eventually they broke through. It always seems as though when Rose-Hulman scores, they like to score in packs, and that's exactly what they did tonight.
There's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, when you score, you want to score in bunches, and we kind of saw the first half. They softened them up maybe a little bit with those 7 opportunities, and they finally made them pay here early in that second half.
Well, you mentioned wearing them down. Through the first 45 minutes, the shot total for Manchester, I should say for Rose-Hulman, was 7-1. And they already have 6 through the first half of the second half.
And you know, a big reason why we're probably seeing that, a lot of these guys out here have fresh legs. They came in here with maybe 10 or so minutes played in the first half, and they were coming out here looking to attack, and they did just that.
Will Bell called for the yellow card. He's a little bit beside himself. So an opportunity for Manchester.
This is a really good spot. Gives you some options here.
Again, this game not over by any stretch. While Manchester has struggled to score, and for that fact, get into the win column over the course of the last month. If you've watched this game long enough, you know that anything can happen at any given moment.
Yep.
Out top, Gavin Wagers, along with Nick Marion. About 35 yards straight away. In the air. Peterstead punches that one up. Ball still loose. Who will pick it up? Blazing shot by Belliard. Recovered by the Spartans again. Only the second shot of the afternoon. Kicked out of bounds. And who was it last touched by?
I believe it's going to stay with Manchester.
It's going to be a corner kick. It's going to be a corner kick as Hayden Etner will go to the corner to kick this one. Again, a 13-2 shot advantage for Rose-Hulman. Far post. up in the air.
Smallest guy on the pitch getting his head on that one. How about that?
Whistle, foul called, and a free kick awarded to Rose-Hulman. Manchester with a couple of opportunities there, but they can't cash in.
That was Ganesh Babu getting his head on that, clearing it away, and now Bieterstedt going to do his best job to get this one way down the pitch.
We have an update from that Mount St. Joseph game. 70th minute, Transylvania 3, Mount St. Joseph 0. So that score continuing to hold up, and a live update from the Anderson-Berea matchup as well. 1-0 in favor of Anderson as they just hit the 25-minute mark.
See a good group of students out there coming to support the team. You love to see that on a Tuesday night. I'm sure they took their time away from studying and hitting the books to show their support to this well-deserving Rose-Hulman men's team.
Well, it's a small campus. I'm sure word gets around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's good to see that support out here for the Fighting Engineers. Well-deserved support as well for the type of season they've had. As a substitution will come in for Manchester. Back into the game, Marcelo Guaiza Gutierrez making his second appearance of the day.
I'm sure you heard this from your Indiana head football coach, but what is it, study later?
Study later, that's right. I have a towel with that exact inscription hanging up in my dorm room right now, or in my apartment room.
Now, do you use that for motivation when you want to sit down and get something done and something comes up and you look at that towel and you're like, all right, I can study later?
I don't know. I guess I'll figure out over the course of the next couple months.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's the first time I've ever had that advice given by anybody, though. I'm certainly going to take advantage of it if I can.
Yep.
Opportunity for the Engineers. And a nice tackle away by Marion. He has been terrific defensively for this Spartans defense. Unfortunately for the Spartans, Manchester has not been able to contain the fantastic Rose-Hulman offense, especially here in the second half. 6-1 shot advantage for Rose-Hulman here in the second half. That was nearly the numbers we saw for the entirety of the first half. Marion on the throw-in.
Yeah, they did that in about less than half the time.
That's exactly right. That's how aggressive this Rose-Hulman team has been here in the second half. Again, with a lot of reserves in the game as well, which has been the more impressive part.
How well-rounded they are, and now another good opportunity here. But
Gaines has the original goal on the night. He had that one taken away. He'll trigger in quickly.
It was Hollis streaking over to poke that one away. It was a one-on-one opportunity there, shut down by the Spartans.
Under 20 to go. Again, Rose-Hulman really not playing for anything much more than bragging rights, and also trying to keep their name in the conversation for the NCAA tournament. Manchester playing for a lot more than that. The right to continue their season, which as of right now with a win would guarantee them a spot in the HCAC tournament. Nice clear Marion again. Unos further back. But unfortunately for the Spartans, they find themselves in a 2-0 hole against the best team, objectively speaking, in the HCAC conference record-wise.
And now, Cruz, you can see they're kind of just happy possessing the ball here, winding down this clock.
Again, for good reason. You want to, like you said, save up those legs for that semifinal matchup that you will inevitably have a week from tonight right here in this very field. And they don't know who their opponent will be just yet. And while I won't say they won't be not concerned about it, you have to think they'll be feeling pretty good with whoever they end up matching up with.
Especially the way they've been playing all conference play long. I mean, they've had some close ones, but they've found a way.
HCAC standings coming into tonight. Rose-Hulman, as a substitution, will come in for Manchester. First time today that we see Sean Daring, sophomore from Pembroke Pines, Florida, playing his third game of the season. Rose-Hulman atop the HCAC standings with 22 points. That 7-0-1 record coming into tonight. Again, clinched the 2024 HCAC regular season championship this past Saturday in a win over Mount St. Joseph. Then followed by Hanover at 17 points, Transylvania 15 points. And Transylvania looking to make it 18 by the night's end. They held that 3-0 lead over Mount St. Joseph currently. Followed by Berea at 12 points, Bluffton 10, Earlham 9 coming into tonight. Anderson tied up with them at 9. Also Anderson still holding on to now a 2-0 lead over Berea. As we just got that update as we were reading that off. Then, of course, behind that, Manchester, followed by Mount St. Joseph, then Franklin, who was the only team coming into tonight who had been eliminated from HCAC tournament contention. A couple more of those teams will make that list tonight.
And Rose-Hulman's only draw in conference play came against Hanover, and a 0-0 draw that was at Hanover, so I'm sure they'd love to have the opportunity to play him again here on home turf.
That could potentially be the matchup in the championship. Of course, Transylvania might have something to say about that as well. Maybe even Berea. And anything can happen when the postseason comes around, but it'd be hard to see anybody else outside of those top 3, maybe even 4, from having a shot at either going to or winning the HCAC tournament championship.
Yeah, like we mentioned, Rose-Hulman did it last year as the 3 seed, so.
Corner kick upcoming for Rose-Hulman.
It's going to be Ganesh Babu taking the kick from the far side.
Curling left, header. Marion got a foot on it, surprise there. Ganesh Babu holds on to it. Over the middle, shot, Miller, no. Second opportunity away.
Good job just playing that one back there to space.
Eldridge across the middle, bodied away. There on the deflection was Spagna. Then a hard touch from Watson over the head of his teammate Tyler Eldridge.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, Eldridge has got to be offsides. And then I saw there was a player down there in the corner just right behind him. So not a bad idea there. And got some more subs coming in on both sides.
Logan Folk for Manchester making his 5th appearance of the season. Checking back into the game for Rose-Hulman, Peter Jacob, along with Oliver Fila and Julius Salinas. Under 15 to go.
So Rose-Hulman getting some guys in that we saw play a good amount of the first half.
Ben, I'm a little bit surprised they're making a return to this game in general.
Yeah, it is really kind of surprising too, if you ask me. I thought once we saw all those starters come out, be the last we see of them, but I guess not.
Ball kicked over our heads and out of play. And Ben, your car is fine.
It's okay.
That's the good news. Yep. As is everybody else's cars who are parked behind us.
I don't know if you know this, but these soccer balls are inflated like almost, it feels like a rock. Like I'm
there's no more accurate statement than the one you just made right there.
Because when I was younger, I heard that soccer players were one of the leaders in sports concussions, and I didn't really understand that one. And then once I actually felt the ball, I was like, okay, this is.
Over the middle, ball gets through. Manchester clears initially. Out top, Salinas again, and it's snagged out of the air by Ketchmark. You're absolutely right, though, Ben. And, you know, it's no wonder with the amount of headers and stuff of that nature that is put in play night in and night out. When you mentioned it,
I mean, we
it's
saw
just like a less buoyant rock.
Yeah, right in front of us. I think it was Borger took that one. Took that one off the head. I don't think he was expecting it. You could hear the thump from 20 feet away.
You can hear the roar from the Rose-Hulman bench off to our right. Foul called, and the Engineers will get a free kick. They sense they're in control of this one.
Yeah, and they've done a good job supporting these guys out on the pitch. You can hear them get fired up anytime someone makes a tackle or gets a stop. And that's just the culture that Coach Hellewell's created over there.
Exactly. That's what you can tell when a team has a good culture, is whenever you have, first of all, the amount of depth that Rose-Hulman has is impressive, but also having the bench being as involved as they are, whether they're playing or not, whether they get consistent minutes or not. Again, it's very hard to build that up, but once you have it built, it's hard to take down.
Yeah, there's a foundation here, and it's only getting stronger.
Deering taken away. Now Miller to the far side. Rose-Hulman just trotting their way up the field right now. Long ball up ahead. Miller chases it down. And we'll play it back. And Traver has it taken away, and it'll stay with the Fighting Engineers.
And it was a Marion with a nice poke. He's been really the focal point of this back line, making plays left and right.
Whistle. And a foul going to be called. More subs getting set to check in for Manchester. This will be Matt Brown coming back into the game at the next opportunity. As will Jackson Fagan. Eli Miller nearly has it taken away from behind. Rose-Hulman still in control. Up ahead, Kangas. Across the middle, deflection off the back heel. It's still alive. Here's a shot and a nice save. Aaron Ketchmark laying out for that one and saving a 3-0 deficit.
Give a lot of credit there to Eldridge, able to spin around real quick and put that one on the mark, but more credit to Ketchmark there, being on top of it and parrying it away.
Again, he has been terrific time and time again tonight.
Look at that. One touch to himself. And you know, I bet against most goalies in this conference that might go in, but against a 6'4" Ketchmark, good luck.
Not only is he 6'4", but the amount of athleticism that he possesses, it's quite impressive. Corner kick upcoming. I believe that Ketchmark might have been out of bounds whenever he picked up that ball inside the box. So Rose-Hulman will trot out Oliver Fila.
You like this, a little slight jog, you know, get as much time off as you can. Wind this thing down.
10 minutes to go here from Terre Haute in a 2-0 lead for the Engineers, who struck early in the second half with back-to-back goals. Ball loose.
That was Marion getting ahead on it and keeping it out of trouble.
It was Carson Maines, I should say, who had the opening goal. And then after that, it was Eli Miller. By the way, Eldridge had the assist on that Maines goal earlier tonight. On the run, Rose-Hulman again looking to attack.
Good job drawing the defenders up there.
Miller with the kick over the byline and out of play. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Make a Difference. Help us put more student athletes on TV by logging on to IndianaSRN.org and directing your donation to a specific school, or hit the donate button. More games, more opportunities for our kids. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. A couple of substitutions in for Manchester. We already mentioned who was coming in, but we'll remind you again, Jackson Fagan back out there along with Matt Brown. Now Gabe Kruer will make his first appearance of the day here in just a moment. Also William Wittich looking to come back in as well.
check the score of the World Series. Freddie Freeman with a 2-run home run. They're up 2-0 in the second inning.
Shot on the ground, deflected. I believe that's game 4, correct?
Yeah, they're coming out looking to put it away.
I think at least most people would have thought the Yankees would have been able to at least squeak out 1 or 2 wins, but a sweep by the Dodgers would have been probably one of the more impressive things to do, especially against the offensive weapons that the Yankees possess. Talk about Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, Juan Soto, who had that amazing walk-off, or I should say go-ahead home run in the ALCS to advance the Yankees to the World Series. I believe for the first time since 2009, is that correct?
Yeah. It's been a while, surprisingly. It's something probably most people didn't think it would take that long, but...
Especially with the group that they have.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, they got there, but they're potentially, I don't know what inning you said, but at least 9 innings away from their season ending.
It's only the second inning, so a lot of game left. But
7 innings potentially from having their season come to a close at the hands of the LA Dodgers. But again, long game to go.
Exactly.
Yankees could definitely change the narrative of that series. We saw, I believe, what happened with the Yankees and Red Sox back in 2004. Nice through ball deflected away by Manchester. I believe the Yankees were up 3-0 in that series. Yep. The Red Sox knotted off 4 straight to win the World Series over their American League rival.
They said don't let them win that 4th game, and they did. So all it takes is one. I mean, we saw in past Stanley Cup Finals, the team was down. They almost came back, but so it's possible.
About 5 minutes to go in that Transylvania game we've been filling you in on from time to time. Still 3-0 in favor of Transylvania over Mount St. Joseph. Although at this point, at least in terms of the game we're watching right now, other than maybe who Rose-Hulman could play in the tournament, not a lot of meaning considering that Manchester is less than 6 minutes away from their season coming to a close.
Rose-Hulman getting ready to send some more subs out onto the pitch.
RHIT.TV is brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill. Why go anywhere else for delicious food? If you're looking for amazing fresh food and servers that genuinely care about service, you've got to try Aspen Creek Grill. RHIT.TV is also brought to you by Clean Slate. Find your future in the cloud. We're a technology consulting firm specializing in custom-built modern applications and products that deliver greater agility, faster speed to innovation, and the resiliency to handle whatever the future throws your way. Call us at 866-885, I should say. That number, 866-885-3249. Couple of substitutions in for Rose-Hulman. We already mentioned that Gabe Kruer and William Wittich would check in. Jimmy Hall also making an appearance tonight as well, as Eli Miller, along with Landon Kangas and Tyler Eldridge, all get much-needed breaks and much-deserved breaks, I should add, as well. Final minutes ticking off of the clock for Manchester this season. They will finish the regular season with a 4-7-5 record and a 1-4-4 mark in conference play. They will miss out on the HCAC tournament. A win would have gotten them in. Instead, they'll find their season come to an end to the hands of the 2024 HCAC regular season champions and the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers. In the second straight year that Rose-Hulman has delivered a late season blow in some sort of fashion against Manchester. Last year, Ben, you mentioned it, was the HCAC tournament championship. This time around, it was for the opportunity for Manchester to make that tournament, and they're going to come up short. He'll be back to the drawing board for Chad Brooks, who has a young and promising team. Again, a young core featuring Cole Williams, who wears number 8, Andy Ignatovich, and a player who we didn't see tonight, in Ian Jones. Again, those are the 3 leading goal scorers and 3 of the 4 total goal scorers on the year for Manchester. They accounted for 94% of the Spartans' offense this season in terms of scoring.
And Ketchmark's only a junior, so he'll likely be coming back as well. It'll give this team a lot of confidence knowing he's behind them.
Yeah, that core we mentioned with Williams, he's the oldest of the 3.
It's crazy.
And a sophomore out of McCutcheon up in Lafayette. Andy Ignatovich out of Michigan. Ian Jones out of Texas, Lancaster, Texas to be specific. Both of those guys are freshmen. So Manchester more than likely going to run it back again next year, now with experience for their young core. And, of course, we've seen what Aaron Ketchmark can do so far tonight. Obviously, when you give up 20 shots, eventually a couple of those are going to fall in, especially against a team like Rose-Hulman. But a promising future for this Manchester team after what you could consider a rebuilding year in retrospect.
Definitely after the success they've had the past few years. Got to reload and rebuild.
Up ahead, waiting on it, Biederstedt for Rose-Hulman, who will look back at their regular season with a lot of fond memories after a bit of a rough start. Of course, a lot of those losses that they took earlier in the year were in non-conference play, but they have yet to drop a game in the month of October, and that's how their October will end. They will not have dropped a game. They haven't dropped a game in conference play. They will end conference play with an 8-0-1 record, having already clinched the HCAC championship for the regular season this year. Then Sean Hellowell and his group will turn their sights towards defending the HCAC tournament championship. And they're looking to claim their 9th title in program history.
Next game on RHIT.TV, Manchester and Rose-Hulman football this Saturday.
We got a rematch coming on the football field this Saturday.
That's exactly right. Manchester taking on Rose-Hulman. This time it'll be on the gridiron instead of the pitch. That'll be this Saturday on RHIT.TV. We'll be looking forward to that one. Full slate of HCAC football upcoming this upcoming Saturday. Ball across the middle, gets loose, and picking it up is Ketchmark. RHIT.TV is brought to you by Wheeler Mission. For over 125 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. You can volunteer today at 317-686-6239. 90 seconds remaining here in the regular season for Manchester and for Rose-Hulman for that matter. The only difference is Rose-Hulman's season will continue. Manchester's will not. Whistle blows, and it'll be Manchester throw-in. Kick up the field, on the run. Logan Folk tripped up as we're under a minute.
One minute remaining.
Shot discrepancy in favor of Rose-Hulman, 20-2. And Ben, it's really hard to win games when you're getting outshot 20-2. But again, give credit to Rose-Hulman's offense. They came out strong in that second half, and that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, you know, I at least thought we would see some more opportunities on goal from Manchester, and that just wasn't the case in the second half. So just a lot of credit to this Fighting Engineers team.
Cross to the weak side. Rose-Hulman not done yet. Marion has other ideas, I should say. That was the final burst from Rose-Hulman.
8, 7, 6.
Pass over the middle taken away. And the final clear for Manchester. And the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers and the HCAC conference slate undefeated 8-0-1 as they take down the Manchester Spartans by a final tally of 2-0. And the season for the Spartans will come to a close at 4-7-5 and 1-4-4 in HCAC play. And Ben, give me some of your final thoughts, first of all on Manchester, then Rose-Hulman, who will have their season march on.
Manchester came in here with their backs against the wall, having to get that win to keep their season alive, and we touched on this. It's just a young team rebuilding from that team that was champions last year in the HCAC, so kind of a down year, but we mentioned they've got a lot of bright spots on this team that are all underclassmen, so there's a lot to build on. I'm sure Coach Brooks is just going to use this opportunity for these guys to grow and get them better in the offseason. And you look over on the Rose-Hulman side, didn't really come in here, I mean, you could say with much to play for, having already clinched that one spot, but finishing off the conference schedule undefeated, I think was probably something that they had in the back of their minds that they would have liked to do coming into this game. And they showed they came out here and played hard, and then even when the subs came in, you saw the energy instantly. They were really revving up the pressure, and that led to 2 goals. So you got to give credit to this whole team, because it wasn't just one guy tonight. There was multiple players stepping up, whether it was defense, offense, to get this one done. And now they end their season on a high note, and they can carry that in to the tournament and hopefully make a run there and get to finally what the big goal is, and that's the big D3 tournament.
Take one final thank you to all of our title sponsors for the fall, beginning with Reynolds Farm Equipment, as well as Passion to Care, Boilermaker Local 374, Wheeler Mission, Burtner Electric, the Morales Group, and the IndianaSRN Sports Page. Again, we remind you the next RHIT.TV broadcast will take place this Saturday as Manchester will travel back to Terre Haute, this time for football, as the Spartans will face off against the Fighting Engineers this upcoming Saturday. Well, for our entire great RHIT.TV crew, for Ben Wood, I'm Cruz Martin saying so long from Terre Haute. Rose-Hulman undefeated in HCAC play in 2024.